Welcome back to one of only two countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations, and it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. It's Red Bull in pole position then, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly and Lando Norris, Perez, Stroll, Alexander Albon and Giovinazzi, Latifi, Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell. Grosjean and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Last time out, we won from third. What can we do from pole to 5? Red lights for the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a tentative start for everybody. It's soaking wet here in Monza. The rain is really starting to come down now. We get a good start. We're already in first, down towards turn 1. Esteban Ocon and our teammate Alexander Albon are going side by side into the first chicane, and everyone's trying to keep away from each other, and it's a clean first start. So we head down towards the Lesmos, and we are in the lead from Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas as they have a little bit of a scrap past the turn 1 on the exit, but we still sit ahead. And it is Lewis Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas desperately needs to get past Lewis Hamilton if he wants any chance at the championship, as Romain Grosjean did not get the start that he would have wanted. Valtteri Bottas really has to close up this gap to Lewis Hamilton in the championship if he wants any shot at the championship, as Lewis Hamilton is running away with it right now. The two Ferraris got away decently, but they both got passed by Daniel Ricciardo, and our teammate got away decently well in the start phase, as they all go through Ascari now as we head down towards Parabolica, and we have yellow flags, so maybe someone's gone off. We have a safety car, we have the full safety car, and someone has gone off at Ascari, and it's Romain Grosjean. It's the Haas of Romain Grosjean as he's gone straight off at Ascari, so I hope that he can keep going, and it looks like he can, as long as there's not too much damage to that Haas car, but he will lose a lot of time. But it is a safety car, so he can pit and then come back right at the back of the field, so it won't be too much damage done for Romain Grosjean. But I think that the stewards definitely thought that that was going to be a harder car to move, but surprisingly Romain Grosjean got it to keep going. So Romain Grosjean goes into Ascari and he just loses the back end on the curve and goes straight off and hits the barrier. So after not a great start from Grosjean, he goes off. Here's the start from us. We got away decently well. It was super slow off the line, but so was everybody else, so it was okay. We lost the back end in the second phase of the start. I was a little bit worried here, but luckily we got into turn 1 in front of everyone. We locked up a little bit on the front right, but no damage done. And now we lead the Italian Grand Prix. Here's Valtteri Bottas. He fought Lewis Hamilton a little bit into turn 1, so the Finn really trying to get past Lewis Hamilton, and maybe he might be able to later on in the race. We don't know after the safety car goes away, but down into turn 1, he's side by side with his teammate. He has the outside line, which switches to the inside, but on the exit, Lewis Hamilton gets a way better exit, as you can see there, and gets past Valtteri Bottas. Daniel Ricciardo got past both Ferraris at the start. Here's his getaway. Here's his onboard. He got away decently well in the first stage, but on the second stage of the start, he gets away. He gets a great launch in his side-by-side with both Ferraris. Almost make a little bit of contact in the braking zone, and do make a little bit of contact as Daniel Ricciardo got squeezed. So Ricciardo luckily has no damage, no punctures, nothing, so he got past both Ferraris. Here's our teammate Alexander Albon. He got away pretty well. He was fighting a ton of people going down into turn 1. So he's trying to make up a lot of positions after a torrid qualifying session. We got pole, but he got not a great qualifying. So he will really be trying to show that he deserves his seat, or else Max Verstappen will take it back from him. As going into turn 1, he grabbed a lot of positions, went around the outside of Esteban Ocon in the Renault, and got up. And now he has the Alpha Tauri in front of him. Here comes the Alfa Romeo. Kimi Räikkönen, he has not been having the best time as of late. He hasn't scored points in a while. Will he be close enough to go for a move into Ascari? I don't think so, but you never know with Kimi Räikkönen. He could go for a beautiful overtake, but he does not. He is a little bit too far back. We have one more corner to contend with, the famous Parabolica, and we will win the Monza Grand Prix in Italy. We come around, Parabolica. Now, if we can keep this clean, then we will win. We've won in Belgium. We win in Monza. It's a 2-race, 2 victories. After the summer break, it's a great summer break for us as we come away with 2 victories right after the summer break. And it's a great dominant victory. One of our most dominant races so far.
And your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
Yes, boys! Yes! Oh, yes! 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 Oh my God! What an amazing, what a great race, guys! Oh, this car's amazing now. 2 wins in a row, boys! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Yes!
Big treat for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So we take top points, and Lewis Hamilton is in P2 and Valtteri Bottas in P3. Daniel Ricciardo had a great race in P4, and our teammate Alexander Albon got up to 9th place. That's 2 points for Albon, 26 points for us because we got the fastest lap. We overtake Ferrari in the championship for 2nd place, and Mercedes extend their lead in 1st place. As per usual, it's time for our post-race interview.
You've still got your boots on, so you didn't fancy a shoey?
Yeah. I could do a shoey. I think this deserves a shoey. Honestly, it was probably one of my best races. Not my best in terms of overtaking, obviously, because I didn't have to overtake anyone, but my best in terms of pace. We had a lot of pace. I think we won by quite a few amount of seconds, so it was a really, really good race, so deserves a shoey. All right. Oh, that's nasty. I know I said I'd never do a shoey again, but this one deserves it. After my win in Belgium and then my win in Monza, certainly deserves a shoey. Now we can talk about the race. It was such a good race. Pace all day. Pace yesterday in qualifying. Got pole position, obviously. I went for I'd say a dry setup because I wasn't really expecting it to rain today. So I went for a dry setup, and if it had rained harder, then we would have been screwed. But we already had so much pace over the rest of the field that even if we did run a slightly dry setup rather than a wet setup, we would still have a lot of pace, and it proved to work. We had a lot of pace, so that's how we won the race, and it was a great race altogether.